Hey everyone, Luke here. Now, before I get into the review this week, I've just got to say something very, very important. This is 100% serious right now. So Party Jam's has already seen this, but for those of you who see this review who don't know, we suffered a big tragedy in my family this week. My father, it was last week now, considering we're in the new week, but yeah, last week my father got submitted into hospital and unfortunately he didn't make it. My father passed away on Thursday afternoon. It was one of those things, like we all knew it was coming because he was terminally ill, same type of cancer that took Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther, but at the same time it was a really rough week for all of us. Like probably the hardest week we've ever gone through, and yet that includes losing Maisie and Poppy as well. And sorry about the scratching, but Jem is down there right now, just moving about. But yeah, in all seriousness though, my father, great guy, despite his flaws, he was still my father, still loved him, and I am gonna miss him. But I'm gonna be following the advice that he gave me before he went into his comatose state, and that is do what you've got to do. So I'm taking that to mean that no matter what, enjoy your life, do what needs to be done because it's you, and I'm proud of you. That is the advice I'm gonna take. But at the same time, I thought that I would share this. Now, I'm not doing like a tribute for my dad because I'm respecting my mother's privacy to keep his identity private and everything. And sorry about the camera, but Jem is just moving about right now. But yeah, keeping his identity private. Don't want it spreading out all over the internet. But yeah, like I said, my father passed away on Thursday, and I figured might as well mention it and say, Dad, this review is for you. Alright, so this will be chapter 188, titled A T-Shirt Kind of Guy. And yeah, going back to what I was saying before about my father, he would have probably loved this series, like just the randomized humor of it. Even though he probably wouldn't get half of the jokes because he wasn't an anime fan by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, he had seen some little bits here and there, but he wasn't like as massive of a fan. But I feel like he would have gotten a kick out of some of the humor here, especially this, because first we had jeans, now we're having a chapter dedicated to t-shirts. T-shirts of all things. That's just how random this series can be. Oh god, I love it. So yeah, the chat starts off with Kago coming back in and just looking a complete worse for wear, kind of like my brother on a really bad day, and everyone's just like, what happened to you, Kago? As he explains, like, I got possessed by a magical butterfly. So it seems to be like they are going with that idea of the members of the Mori household just going around gathering certain butterflies. I don't know whether that's going to come into play a little bit later on, but yeah, this is another like random slice of life chapter as we have Khan and Mori going on and saying like, oh really, you can use magic? So what's that? What's the spell going on here? And we have Ban on the sofa there, just saying like, do you know what decided you to actually get possessed? And Kago's just saying like, can't tell. And we just have him here just trying to hold back. I assume he's holding back like a sneeze because as soon as he's like pants for breath, he's like, I think it's gonna blow, and we get T form as we have my hero. I can never pronounce our beloved vampire femboy's name. My hero. Mayuru. But yeah, we have him and Nico coming in like, oh, we bought ice cream for everyone, and they're just like, oh, when it's too hot out, it feels like I could just shrivel up and die. Makes sense because he's a vampire, allergic to the sun and everything. And we have Khan being like, oh, forget all of that. We've all turned into t-shirts, and they're just there like, okay, what the hell actually happened? And we have Mori turning into a vintage printed logo. Makes sense for him. He's all about like the vintage wear, like the jeans and everything. Like, I still can't get over the fact that I am waiting for the anime episode where they just talk about jeans. That is going to be so hilarious. But yeah, so we have Mori with a vintage printed logo t-shirt, which just has his name on it. We have Keigo as a screen printed artist self-portrait. So basically like the kind of thing you would get on like Redbubble or T-Public or something like that. No. Bands is the one would get on those websites because she's turned into a cartoon mascot, and then we have Khan's basically just a Tengo version of the Pachika shirt. Now I have no idea what that is. I've never heard about it before. Somebody might post a comment about it. Like I want a Party Jams level comment explaining what the Ponichiko shirt actually is. Like I want it as in depth as the G chapter. And we also have Khan saying like, how come I'm the only one who ended up like the Gutsy Frog, which I assume is a reference to Crazy Frog here, as we have Mayuru saying, oh, it looks like all these shirts, the way you guys have transformed these t-shirts, it fits your original personality. And then we have Khan being like, I don't get how my personality fits with the Gutsy Frog and Ponichiki, and they're just there like, but you are aware it exists, right? Perhaps it's because you're such an animated person, you talk and gesture a lot, which that probably is a reference to Crazy Frog, because in the music video it's very animated. He's a very animated kind of character. So we have Nico saying like, it looks like the other three can't speak at all or move about, and of course Khan is just there just complaining. I'm the only one to get that kind of possessed as opposed to everyone else here. Before Mayuru asks the very important question, like, how on earth did this happen? And this is why I feel like I need to like cut back on the description of some of the Witch Watch chapters, because it's so dense. It's much more panels are used, much more dialogue is used compared to Mission Yozakura and sometimes Dr. Stone. Like the fact that this series can use much more panels and much more dialogue than some of the Dr. Stone chapters is just insane. But yeah, essentially Keigo had been on this weird kick about t-shirts. So I guess like the Gene chapter really rubbed off on him, and now it's just like, oh, I'm really on a t-shirt kick lately, and he's been hunting down trying to show them off on his YouTube channel, which I'm not gonna do. I'm not gonna turn this YouTube channel into a t-shirt fiasco. So he went off, bought them all a big sale, and now he was walking home with them on the mind, and Butterfly found him, caused the storm, and that's how they ended up. Like this. And they're just flabbergasted. Nico and Miyu, that just like something like that can actually exist. A butterfly that basically turns you into a t-shirt. That is just insane to think about here. But yeah. They're asking Keigo at this point, like, Keigo, they're basically asking t-shirt Keigo, can you dispel this spell? And the t-shirt of Keigo, we learn a new ability about it. Like, even though he can't talk, he can still change his position. He changes it to a struggle. Like, I don't know how I can do that. And and they go, oh, I see, Keigo can't speak, which means he can't tell us how to dispel it, and even Nico can't retrieve the butterfly until he's actually back to his normal self here. So in the worst case scenario, they'll be stuck like this forever. But as we all know in the series, whenever a crazy spell like this happens, it usually takes like about 2, 3, 4 hours before it actually wears off. But yeah, Nico actually notices like the lettering on Mori's t-shirt it has changed, because Khan says at least gets because they say at least Khan gets to be a half t-shirt, half man, but the others are just merely scraps of cloth, and that really ticks Mori off. As it changes to, I am not an object, meaning like, don't compare me to a fabric of cloth. I am still me. I'm still me inside. I'm still me inside. As Nico says, like, oh, yeah, well, he did call him a piece of fabric, Murray. So of course he's going to be like really upset. Like that's gonna tick him off here. As and we have Murray like they're basically like being like, okay, I respect you, Master Mori t-shirt. I'm sorry about that. And this is where Ban's position on the t-shirt actually changes. And it says on the t-shirt like, actually like her finger, paw, claw, whatever is pointing to what is actually said on the t-shirt, which is wear me. So what is actually going on here is that if you wear the t-shirt, it's like, yeah, I think I like this. I think it fits my style. That's the thing that actually gets them to dispel the t-shirt. But yeah, as Nico puts on as Nico puts on Ban's t-shirt, it comes to the conclusion like, oh, it's not right for her because it's obviously too big for her. So yeah, it's not going to be comfortable enough for her. So it's not going to feel right for her. So it's not going to fit her as a person, and it's not going to be like, yeah, I quite like this t-shirt. So they say, oh, don't you think the size has anything for it to be correct to work? So they're basically coming up with all sorts of ideas for like how we can actually get this spell to dispel. Like we know it has to like be like, yeah, I quite like this. I think it will work with me. But I'd say that there's a lot more complications that are going on here. As we have Khan saying like, oh, they're tough judges, got a spell to make them actually smaller here. As Nico's like, oh, not one that lets me make teeny adjustments. Before Mori's shirt turns to like, oh yeah, this doesn't look good. As we have Mary saying like, oh, the shirts aren't truly satisfied unless the person wearing them feels like they look good in them. Like what I said, like it's basically the case of like, yeah, the t-shirt and the person that has to agree like, yes, this looks good for the spell to dispel. I really want to meet the author of this series. So I was like, how the hell do you come up with all of this stuff? So continuing on, we have at this point Khan being put on by Mira, but not after Khan's like, don't treat me like a thing here. As Mira's just like, I don't know about this, and Khan's like, oh, don't try to hide it since I didn't pop back to normal. That means you obviously think it doesn't look good on you. And besides, we all know t-shirts look like crap on you. Hey, don't. Hey, I think he would look good in some t-shirts. Vampire t-shirts, but yeah, besides the point, you don't diss it until it's actually been fully established. Like, oh no, they really don't look good on Miyu. But yeah, at least can't blame the guy for trying here. And we have also Khan starting to get all wrinkly all of a sudden, which basically making him turn into a really old man. Like, oh, the fabric's wrinkling up. I'm touching, basically getting a bit of dry skin here. So we go through the summary of like, okay, if we're gonna turn these shirts back into people, we're not objects here. Shut up, t-shirts. We have to find someone who honestly looks good in them, and they feel like they look good. They look good in them. But at the moment, it's only Miyu and Nico, and nobody else. And and we have Khan say that, man, and all it really takes is someone who's relatively slender to put them on and be like, yeah, this looks good. So they start going through like the various people who they could invite over to actually try these t-shirts on, and the first person they come up with is the person that is the most unlikely to be any use in this situation. The student council president, you know, the one who's like the JoJo pose, who can't get out of that JoJo pose, which they bring up something that I actually when I first read the chapter, I'm like, yeah, that's actually a good point there that has never actually been addressed until now. And also, side note, we got the announcement that, yes, the student council president are going to be in season 1 of the anime because it's going to be 2 cours, so about 22, 24 episodes. So that's good. We're actually getting the student council just so that people can see how wacky and insane they are, especially the student council president. But yeah, it's surprising that they actually thought of him first, considering the JoJo pose, and they say, bro, he's the last person on the planet who would look good in a shirt. Heck, he never takes off that dumb hat. How does he even get dressed at all like that? Yeah, that is actually a really good point. Like, how does he get dressed? Like, does he have his grandma dressing for him? Like, what happens if she's on the table? What happens if his sister's on the table? Like, how on earth does he actually get dressed? I feel like that is something that is not going to be like a throwaway line. I feel like we really do need to actually address that issue of like, why is he always like this? Like, is there any way he can take that off? But I feel like if he took it off, he'd be like, using my hand again. Like, how on earth do you use these things on the end of your hand? They're called finger. Like, whatever. How do you use these things? Like, I can see that like actually being a chance. Like, they actually get a spell to it so that he actually can remove his hand, and then he's just there. Like, how on earth do you use this thing on my thing here? I've not used it for so long. Like, that would actually be a really good point to explore. Like, but yeah, they come up with the only person that they can think of in this situation, which is Jeko or Jiko, whichever you have to pronounce it. Him as a character, he's not really one of my favorites. I feel like because we haven't spent as much time with him, like he feels like. He just feels like a little bit on the bland side to me. Like, not my favorite character, but hey ho, he's here to help now. He's the only person that they can actually think of. So yeah, Draco is here to help, and he's just like, okay, what's the big emergency right here? And yeah, he goes on and says, I had a bad feeling when you messaged me, but I'm glad to see that there's nothing like that human centaur this time. Did I miss a chapter, or like, can somebody explain the human centaur? Like, I must have forgotten something. Like, I really will have to go back and look at that, like, to see, like, did a human centaur show up or something? But I digress. Mayu says, like, yes, there is quite a situation here, because these three, Keigo can't. No, these 4 are now t-shirts, and we just need you to put them on, say they look good, and be like, yeah, they'll be out of the spell. So Jeko is just like, okay, I guess that's what I'm doing here today. So the first one he brings on is Moi's shirt, and it's dispelled, so he's back to normal. Then it's Keigo's shirt, and then Ban's shirt, and he's like, okay, 3 out of 4 is not bad. Now it's all we have to do is get Khan out of his shirt. So he puts Khan's t-shirt on, tries to do like an Ida pose from My Hero Academia. Actually, I've just realised Jekyll does kind of look like, when he's got the Khan t-shirt on, he's like with his glass there, he kind of does look like Ida from My Hero Academia. Like, I don't know if others are like, I've noticed that, but yeah, he does kind of look like him there. But even him with his Ida style pose can't actually get Khan out of his t-shirt, because yeah, it doesn't look good at all. Not even on Jeko, as they're just like, whoa, hold on, why not? You can't. Yeah, you can totally pull it off. You look great on me. As Jeko's just like, I'm sorry, I just can't decide. It's just too kiddie essentially for him. But yeah, that begs the question of like, I mean, okay, it's a bit big. No, really, no. I don't know, like, who would look good in this t-shirt, in this card t-shirt that could actually get him out of this spell? Like, let me know, like, because I'm drawing a blank here. Like, yeah, there's really no one I can think of. But yeah, that's besides the point. So we have so we have them going like, yeah, I don't think anyone will look good and look good in the account. Just like the calm bashing here is just insane. Why did you decide to possess a T-shirt like that in the first place? And he's just like, don't ask me, I just ended up like this. It's not like I had a choice in that matter. If I'm being honest, only Hirika Oto from Bakushuko Mondia and Hiroshi from the Gutsy Frog would look good in the shirt. Like, see, I honestly, again, references that are going completely over my head. I hit the ceiling right there, but just go with it. We're on a roll here. So like we could get either one of. So basically, like, a bunch of celebrities would be the only people who like good on you. It's like we could get them right here now. Now what? You can't tell I'm stuck living as a T-shirt forever. I can't go out like this. I'm a main character in the series. I need to get out of this T-shirt. And Mia is just there like, oh, why do you have to be so fussy? What's wrong with living a one-dimensional life anyway? Like, no, you guys are not one-dimensional. You guys have a lot of personality, so you can't have them as a one-dimensional character. So now we have bands saying like, okay, since the regular design is too kiddie enough for any one of us, why don't we try adding things to it to make it look cooler? Like adding a symbol to it, or maybe ripping it up so that it's like a really like punk rock, hard rock vibe. And Kate Conscious like, no, I'll get shredded to bits when I get out of this T-shirt. We're not doing that. Come on, guys. I need serious ideas there. I don't care what it takes. Just make me cool. Make me cool. There's something extra painful about a screaming desperation from such a cartoony face. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, if you watch One Piece now with Luffy and Gear 5th, like that's kind of like crazy right there. So yeah, we have Nico saying like, now that Kay goes back, I was able to retrieve the butterfly, and I wonder what will happen if I turn Jekyll into the T-shirt where he's still wearing Con's shirt, and so we have Con be like, we have Keigo be like, what are you talking about? Turning Jekyll into a shirt while he's still wearing me? Really? That's gonna solve this problem. But Jekyll is just like, yeah, that might actually work. And then once we get someone else who actually looks good, that might actually be able to be enough to get us out of this spell. So fine, okay, it's the only idea we've got. We've got no other plans, so let's go with it. So, using T-form on Jekyll, she's able to create Nico's able to create a Jekyll's dual nature type of style. So, splitting the T-shirt halfway down the middle with the phrase "which is the real one," and we have Carl be like, whoa, who look good in this? It's some kind of emo shirt here. You're kidding me. This has just made it worse. So is there anyone who can actually pull this off? But they have the perfect person right here, which is Keigo, because he's very like low self-esteem. So he's kind of the perfect person right now to actually try this T-shirt on, and he'll try and convince himself everyone's. Oh no, is it Keigo? Yeah, it's Keigo. It's Keigo. Or is it more? Is it Mori? Is it Mori? Is it Mori? Oh no, sorry. My bad, no, I had to really do a double take here. So no, we have Mori putting the T-shirt on and trying to convince himself it's a weird one-off, and I'll pick up a design at the festival on a whim. And Carl's just there like, I have to. It doesn't seem to be working right now. Before we have Nico being like, okay, if I turn Mori into a T-shirt right there, like, okay, stop that. We've had enough T-shirt problems for one day. You're just making a layer of cake on a T-shirt, so you're just stacking layers upon layers upon layers upon layers, and eventually it's all going to come crumbling down. You can't say that but they're just like, oh, you can't say that for sure. Maybe next time it will work. Like, no, stop Nico before it gets really out of hand. Besides, at this rate, you'll be stuck as nothing more than a scrap of cloth, and we don't have a choice but to push on. And yeah, it's getting really out of hand here with the whole care. Like, it got so out of hand that I thought like Kago was the one putting the t-shirt on, which again, it would make sense for him to put the t-shirt on, but it makes just as much sense for Murray to have the t-shirt on. And they're just there like, oh, forget this, like, I'm done with it, I'm done with this, I told you it wouldn't work. All it does is make the previous style just smaller and smaller and smaller. Nothing's gonna look cool on me. As we have Ban, Nico, and Mirio being like, now what? We've not got anything that we can use right now. People are disappearing from this room one by one. So I guess we'll just have to look for someone who will like the t-shirt. And Mario says to in response to Ban, but who? Only people deliberately trying to. Trying to be contrarian would say something like that. As Ban's just like I have to be some lame hipster with a t-shirt obsession. And okay, this is where they actually get Kago in, because they're like, oh wait, Kago's got a t-shirt obsession right now. So it's just there like, oh yeah, I think I do actually kind of like that t-shirt. And eventually, after a while, after a few bumps in the road, the spell does eventually wear off, and that's where the chapter ends. So, well, that was a crazy chapter. Like I said, the fact that we spent an entire chapter talking about t-shirts, that this series can do whatever it wants, and the more chapters we get of it, the more I'm going to be happy to see. And again, can't predict what's going to happen next week right now, because like, it could just be another slice of life chapter. We could be moving into another like major arc. Like, I just don't know. I'm not going to predict it. I'm just going to be like, oh my god, we've done jeans, we've done t-shirts, we have to do dresses next. Like, oh my god, like, these chapters just focusing on pieces of clothing. The fact that they can make entire chapters like that, and they can be just as fun and engaging as some of like the serious chapters. Just gotta give them all the praise for that. But anyway, guys, what did you think of this chapter? Let me know. Like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz. And this will be Lasherluke signing off. Later, guys.